Hey guys, and welcome to a legendary Total War Warhammer 3 showdown. I'm a Robert Duck of War, and we have a treat today. It is the mighty Papa Palpatine playing the forces of Slaanesh, who sent this replay in, and you know what that means. A Papa Palpatine replay tends to mean a top quality tournament style game. I'm very excited to see how this one does go. Now, it is good to note this replay is a little bit choppy at the start. For some reason, this used to happen on some of the old Warhammer 2 replays as well. Once the battle gets underway, it does sort itself out, so apologies about the lagginess at the start of the battle. For the forces of Slaanesh, it is Marauder spam in the front. This is very traditional of Slaanesh in general. It's kind of how they have to play a lot of the time in their front line. We have a mixture of the whips, the basic warriors, and the spears, making up a nice kind of two battle lines. We then have the Bringers of Beguilement here in the back, which are the Regiment of Renowned Exalted Demonettes of Slaanesh, and there is a really, really lovely combo, and quite disgusting combo that goes on in today's battle, featuring these lovely demonettes, and that is going to be with some magic. In the back here, we do have some Fiends of Slaanesh running it down. We also have a Soul Grinder. Good to see a Soul Grinder in the action. Really good mass to push into the enemy back line. Kislev tend to go for a bit of a onion-style approach in land battles. And then we have a Herald of Slaanesh coming in with Shadows Magic. So this is going to be a combo as old as time itself. It's been very popular since the early Total War days. And it's Enfeebling Foe. So Enfeebling Foe plus a massive damage dealing unit, such as the Bringers of Beguilement, all of a sudden are going to be much tankier, taking less damage, and about to absolutely shred open a certain part of the opponent's defensive formation. We see this with Plague of Rust all the time, but Enfeebling Foe, don't sleep on it, can be a very nice combo with those glass cannon heavy hit style units. We have Pit of Shades. We also have Melkov's Mystified Miasma, so a load of good old school classics there. In the front, we have some Hell Striders of Slaanesh. In the far side, we have even more Hell Striders of Slaanesh. And over on this side, we have, you guessed it, even more Hell Striders of Slaanesh. For the mighty Kislev play, he's gone for a defensive formation, attempting to take the high ground where possible. Just a load of Armoured Corsairs, and then Spear Corsairs in the second rank. Very traditional stuff as Kislev at the moment in land battles. We then have Tuners of Zargard. Always love to see some Zargard in action. We do have a Frost Maiden on foot, interestingly enough. Just absolutely yeeting towards the enemy. Sliding gracefully is probably a better way of putting it. She has Death Frost, Ice Sheet, as well as Ice Maiden's Kiss. You've got to respect a Kislev player who doesn't bring Heart of Winter every single time and just spam that spell over and over. Got to respect it. We also have a Double Snow Leopard. We have a Patriarch and a Boris Urson with all his goodies. So looks like we did a bit of bait and switch in here. We got a really early Death Frost go down on the Herald of Slaanesh. Not a bad idea whatsoever bringing that spell. It is one of the worst direct damage spells I found in the game damage-wise, as it's relatively expensive, but the Herald is relatively squishy and doesn't have any access to healing, which is quite nice. So a bit of bait and switcher. Really weird start to the battle. So we get a nice little bait in. Kislev then actually decide to overextend and jump on the Soul Grinder. But then likewise, they've actually kind of gone away with it because of the use of the ability Ice Shard, slowing down the enemy and doing decent damage. And that Herald of Slaanesh is down to about half HP before the battle is really underway. But Kislev, they don't want to get greedy here. They definitely want to start falling back towards friendly territory. It looks like the Frost Maiden did move up a little bit, perhaps getting ready to pop Yataneva's spell, but has started to fall back, and now it's the Patriarch's turn to be like, get me the hell out of here, help me, as he's just getting dragged down by Slaanesh. One of these things is not like the other. And it looks like, though, we are going to get a beautiful placed ice sheets there. It looks like the Frost Maiden has a soft spot for the Patriarch, going to slow down the enemy and allow him to escape. Likewise, it should allow the ranged troops to fire that bit longer. And it looks like the Cossars are unleashing hell upon the Marauders at the moment, doing some lovely damage. Some of the spears in the back about to receive a Pit of Shades. Not the most cost-effective Pit of Shades of all time, but you got to do what you got to do to take down the enemy. Hellstriders slam into Armoured Corsairs, then falling back. This is going to force the Zargard down to engage, and now they can wrap up and around behind the enemy formation. Absolutely lovely stuff. On the left-hand side, screaming like a banshees of old, the Bringers of Beguilement and charge into the Zargard, instantly rampage on them, and down goes the Enfeebling Foe. They are going to tear, rip, and just do whatever it takes to slaughter the manlins of Kislev, and they're going to do a big damage. Look at the ridiculous amount of work they get done, down to half HP, barely a scratch on them. I believe there is some magic to come afoot, though, from the Ice Maidens to try to turn this fight around. And it looks like it's still going to be poison on the Zargard for now, and now we're going to get some lovely breath attacks coming in. Look at that. The kind of like wind attack going down the line, or tear attack I should say, nearly takes down the Bringers to half health themselves. A lovely bit of counterplay by the Kislev player. In the back here, the Fiends of Slaanesh have dived onto the enemy. Unfortunately, not going to be the best for them. I understand they need to shut down the enemy. There's a lot of spears around here and a lot of bows, which is rather scary stuff. Soulgrind is being surrounded by the single entities. He's trying to fight amongst his own marauders, which is certainly a good idea to help out that anti-large against all the bears, but the Soulgrinder is really getting ripped to shreds. These snow leopards just biting and nipping at his metal clutches as Boris goes for the death stroke. It looks like we have Hellstriders moving up around the right side, doing some cycle charging. Love to see it. The Zargard having a far better time on this right-hand engagement than on the left, up to 42 kills, and they are holding it in the name of Kislev. That flank shall not fall. It looks like they bring up a garment, have a slaughter the way through the Zargard. They actually take a couple of those nasty tear attacks going down on them, but they're still going strong for now. Yeah, another one's going to come in. Not overcast this time, it would seem. So doing decent damage, but nothing quite so crazy. They're now ripping it into the Corsairs. The thing I love about the bringers of Begarment is, well, apart from the fact they're horrifically underrated, considering, everyone just talks about the Thestrian Stooges being really OP, and then there's obviously the new ROR coming in, but I think they're certainly a standout due to the fact they have a Rampage. And but even if they only have 2 models left, they can Rampage a key enemy unit, and taking away mobility is such a massive boon on the battlefield. Looks like Hellstriders attempted to surround Boris. Boris says, I'm not stuck in here with you, you're stuck in here with me. Popped an ice shard and drives him away rather comfortably. Unfortunately, one of the little kitty cats has been forced off the battle. The other is going to be rolling dirty, though, alongside the double bear goon squad. Looking to jump on the Herald of Slaanesh, and it looks like the reaction was just in the nip of time. Herald is screaming as she flees in terror before the might of Boris, who does actually have Frostbite now, though, so he will be able to slow down the Herald if he can get 1 or 2 good licks in. A lovely summon of Chaos Furies is going to allow the Marauders to actually win this engagement they were losing. And it looks like the pesky Frost Maiden may indeed go down here. Fiends of Slaanesh going to be used to pin in Boris and save the Herald of Slaanesh, who's floating out to his left-hand side. Zargard desperately making a bit of a last stand, the last of the infantry, really, for Kislev. There's a few armoured Corsairs dotted around, but they're just simply following the example of the Tsar boys, and they're doing a decent job themselves. It looks like Sweet Sorrow has gone down, not a bad use there, just proven in general speed, but more importantly, vigour of your army can be quite nice in the late game. We've also got a cheeky Melkov's Mystifying Miasma going down on the Zargard, trying to sap their strength. Speaking of sapping strength, though, the units of Slaanesh not going to be feeling too good over here. Looks like they've been slowed down by ice sheets as well as some frostbite, and the general is able to slither through to safety. That brings up a Begarment once again in the thick of the action. If they can rampage the Patriarch and Boris, it is game over, because these units need to use their abilities, and the Herald comes slamming in boldly, though Boris's bear just, bam, pimp slaps the Herald of Slaanesh, and she thinks twice of her actions and decides to fall back, taking massive damage there. Boris really is an absolute world beater. Probably my favourite Lord in Warhammer 3. It's tough to say, but he's definitely up there. He's an absolute Chad. Both these units probably want to disengage, though, before they rampage once more and get over here and help the Zargard. Boris has the ability to cause terror if he pops, I think it's called the Fury of Urson, and these units can indeed break and run away. The other demon ones can't, so if you can take away this massive amount of infantry, then they'd be in a good situation, and the Zargard can help them take down the bringers of Begarment relatively effectively if there's no magic involved. Looks like they're sticking out, though, bears to the end, and oh no, they may indeed be a Rampage. For some reason, the Rampage and Simba wasn't popping off. There we go. Now it is, and the fact they're rampaging means they can't use their mobility to their advantage. Balance power is nearly even. It's been in the favour of Kislev for a very long time, but they've only got some Zargard left. They're trying their hardest. Looks like they have become unbreakable. By Our Blood has kicked in. A lovely cycle charging from Hellstriders means they're not going to stand to fight too long, and that balance power is ticking more and more in favour of the mighty Slaanesh, and Papa Palpatine brings a Begarment just hacking and ripping out chunks of flesh and fur from the bear. Why didn't he get fully armoured up like Boris's bear? We will never know, but the Patriarch does seem to be maybe singing his last vows here. The Bringers, relatively weak at the moment, only 26 models left, 890 HP, but they don't give a damn. 186 kills, still poisoning the enemy, and Marauders of Slaanesh are moving up as well. Looks like that Patriarch is most likely going to be going down here. Enfeebling Foe is popped on him, and his HP is dropping rapidly. Boris did right to the aid of the Zargard, who are like, finally our saviour, and then they see him, get stuck in by a couple of spearmen, and they're like, this is not the leader we thought he was, and they decide to break and flee to save their own skin. Boris going down here, deciding to rather fight to the death than flee with his men. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. It was certainly a good fun one, and yeah, it's a real nasty old school combo. Enfeebling Foe plus a high damage dealer, particularly a unit which normally does a load of damage, but doesn't necessarily trade super effectively because they're so squishy themselves. Taking out that melee attack of the enemy, giving away their melee defense means you can grind so fast. Brings up a Begarment here, 186 kills, 4.7k gold value. Probably the most underrated ROR in Warhammer 3 at the moment, I would say. Really awesome unit all round. Just taking away the opponent's mobility is such a big boon. And imagine the value these ladies could have gotten if they weren't focused down by the pesky spells there of the Frost Maiden. Very impressed though by the Kislev player as well. I must admit it was a pretty damn close game. Really nice stuff and some nice tricks on both sides. And I love to see, you know, not just Heart of Winter spam in there and actually bring some other cool spells to good effect. But once again, well played to these lads, a really awesome one, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content into the future, and feel free to leave a comment down below what you thought of the battle, what you'd like to see in the future, or simply yell quack. I do enjoy reading through all the comments. Yeah, been a good fun time. There's a load of links as well down below to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. Discord is where you can submit replays, get involved in live streams, and all that good fun stuff. Hopefully we'll be back to doing live streams relatively soon. And yeah, also there is links down below to Patreon where you can support the channel, and Twitch where I do occasional extra streams. So I got distracted there, my phone started to ring. Until next time, guys, peace, and as always, stay awesome.